And so what is it that you're doing here?
Supporting the students. What happened when they got beat like that was just wrong. I mean, it's just straight up wrong.
Were you here when that happened?
I wasn't here for the first one, the morning one. I was here for the nighttime one, when the square was filled.
And what's the general sentiment about that whole episode that happened among everybody here? I mean, I imagine it's unanimously, like, people are outraged, but what was your experience?
The Berkeley Campus Police has got a history of doing this to the students. So, I grew up here, so it's kind of like status quo, I guess.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed, but I'm sick of it.
So what do you hope personally to get out of this whole movement on a local level or perhaps on a national level?
Maybe higher education should be free for everyone. If you can get in, if your grades are good enough. It shouldn't be about if you can afford it or not. It's not like that in Europe.
So it's mostly about education, you would say?
For the Occupy Cal movement, yeah. That and trying to... They want to make the university a sanctuary so that people can come here and speak their mind, not worry about getting deported back home or the threat of, pulling your student visa because you don't agree with the school U.S. policy. It's wrong.
Yeah. Well, what do you think, what can happen? What would you hope to get out of this? Like, where do you hope it goes from here?
I honestly don't know. I hope for a change because I'm tired of everyone telling me that America is the greatest country in the world when they've never been outside of America, and I have.
Where have you been?
Been through Europe a bunch. I go back to Asia.
Whereabouts in Asia?
Hong Kong, Thailand, Vietnam, China. I've seen the world and I've seen how other cultures operate. This is the greatest in the world. It's a slogan in your head.
So how do the other movements that have been springing up across the world make you feel about what's going on here? Because, it's not just the United States, the various Occupy Wall Street movements have sprung up. It's happening everywhere, so it's...
The movement that inspires me a lot is what's happening in North Africa. These people catching hell. They really come out here and come out and support their cause, and they're putting their asses on the line for real. It's too bad that a lot of 90% of the students here really don't give a shit. They just walk by and kind of think that it is a joke.
Would you say that that's really how it is here?
That and, everyone's still worried about their finals, their grades, and stuff like that, as opposed to thinking long term, like maybe if they get this right, their kids don't have to go through this.
Yeah. I just came from the Occupy Berkeley, not on campus, but in the city. And it was kind of like a little depressing, just because it just seemed like the only people who were really there were just like various homeless people, and nobody really... I tried talking to some people, and a lot of them just kind of seemed like they weren't really present.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's a huge problem with the left in this country. When stuff like this happens, you get every crazy homeless person wanting to talk to any reporter willing to shove a mic in their face.
Yeah.
And then, they need medication and some other things, but
I mean, in a lot of ways, though, it really just kind of demonstrates the problems of the system.
Yeah,
I mean, they're displaced, they're marginalized. Where else are they going to go? I mean, if I was homeless, I would certainly be camping out there myself.
Yeah, of course. I mean, on all the Occupy movement, there's, free food. People help you out with shelter, surf stations.
Have you noticed students doing anything are there any ties between the students here and the Occupy Berkeley off-campus?
No, actually, various Occupy people would come through, like maybe from Oakland, San Francisco. We had a guy from Seattle or Portland come through here. But yeah, various groups come through and we exchange information and strategies, and we just update each other on what's going on. It's kind of just a loose affiliation. There's no real leader, but
do you think that it can still survive if it remains to function like that, or do you think that ultimately, like, the movement is going to need some sort of central leadership?
Good question. I honestly don't have an answer for that.
Because it's almost like demonstrating your problems, like obviously everybody's pissed off, but at the end of the day, it's almost like the system can still continue to function despite people out there protesting, and a lot of people have to end up going back to work, to pay for their bills and stuff. And, I feel like at some point people need to stand up and actually, like, instigate some sort of aggregate change. If people really want to change the direction of things, it has to really be action, because that's really how revolutions are started. It's one thing to go out and protest, but revolutions don't happen based on protests, you know what I mean?
I've been saying this for a while. I don't mind, I'm all for nonviolent, peaceful protests. That's one thing. But being spineless and ballless and no fucking tactics and stupid is another. It's not acceptable. Not acceptable. You have people getting their ass beat. 80-year-old grandmothers getting pepper sprayed. The movement has to grow up quickly, very quickly. And every time the other side makes a mistake, you have to understand this is war. You don't have to necessarily fight and draw blood, but it's a war of public opinion.
So what ways can people fight back? Do you think that the internet and, social networking technology?
Social network, YouTube, I would turn the tactics of the corporate media back on itself, and like the kids that got pepper sprayed at UC Davis, where's their parents, the grandparents, aunts and uncles? They should be calling, the university, going there in person and demanding, why the hell are you beating my kid? My son is only 19 years old, demonstrating his freedom of speech, and this is the lesson he gets. They're never going to go out and demonstrate again. It's a huge psychological blow.
You don't think a lot of kids, though, after experiencing something like that, would just feel more, inspired to continue on? Or do you think that it really just kills any motivation?
That's a huge motivation for it. I mean, you got some 220-pound, 6'2" dude all suited up with this big club or, big canister of pepper spray. Yeah, it's a huge psychological mind fuck.
Yeah.
At that age, at not 18, 19. If I was a parent, I'd be asking for heads to roll.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. How long do you think you're going to be participating here specifically, and maybe more generally, like with the Occupy movement?
I'll probably my alliance right now is with the Cal students. I think they're the future. It's just a matter of them getting ahead of the business.
And what do they need to do to get there?
they need to somehow, you know, just get something as small as 10% of this student population to support and come out here. Just 10%. And you will see the chancellor shit in their pants.
What's it been like lately?
Last night was pretty good. We had about a little over 70 people spend the night. Pretty sprawled out. The cops pretty much left us alone. Most nights, when I leave at about 3 or 4 in the morning, there's probably less than a dozen people here, and I'm pretty sure by the time the sun comes up, there's less than 5 people sleeping out. So if you're a Cal alum or a student, come out and support your brothers and sisters out here. They're fighting for you too.
Well, that was great, man. I really appreciate it.
No
Thanks
problem.
a lot. My name's Christopher.
Same name.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man.
Last name's L-U-K.
My last name is Barber.